do you build you build about 3,000 units right now, well over 3,000 right now. How do you build portfolios of multifamily property as a busy professional for retirement? Because ultimately the goal is, having that huge portfolio, just like you said, when it comes to compounding.
So it's funny. Here's also the very good thing with multifamily. You can start while you still have your W-2, because a good chunk of remember I started in 2009 with single family, right?
Yes.
And then in 2017, that's when I switched to multifamily. But I did not retire until end of 2020. So you basically had from 2017 to 2020 that I was basically running my multifamily business on the side while still, having my W-2. One thing about one thing I want to clarify: the type of multifamily I'm talking about is not like a 4-plex or a 10-plex.
Yeah.
One of my key requirements is that it has to be big enough to sustain itself, in order to, to have full-time resources.
Yeah.
The first deal I did was 79 units. I've never done anything. That was the only smallest I've done. Everything I've done since then has been well above 100. And that's because you get that level of flexibility. So I was able to, keep my job while our full-time property management company running the property, and I was simply running it as an asset manager, and that gave me ability to be able to, do my W-2 and still do it on the side. And I was therefore able to scale up with that. And I believe, other spaces you might not easily get that because they're going to be more time consuming and more demanding. Say for example, you decide to do Airbnb. It's very labor intensive, right? Unless you are a professional, to do it, but it's very labor intensive. And so you have these other opportunities or business you can easily do, but they don't give you that flexibility as much as multifamily gives you. So my recommendation is, if you want to retire early, you set the goal of, okay, I want to retire by, say, 45, right? You don't have any multifamily. The first thing is to identify the market you want to invest in, start looking for properties in that market. Try to get properties that you don't have to be there, for them to operate. Properties that you can get institutional grade property managers, not mom and pop, no mom and pop, that like get true institutional grade property managers with full-time on-site staff, and you have a peace of mind that every day there's somebody there at the property running the asset for you. You don't have to be physically there. And therefore that gives you the flexibility, right? You could be at work, you just look at your email from, the property manager, respond to it. You have that asset management call, at lunchtime or whatever time you want to have, and take care of it and be able to basically run both simultaneously and be able to achieve your goal. And then, once you buy one asset, in my opinion, is always the rule of the first deal. Once you have the first one, the second one becomes very easy to achieve, and the third one. And then basically you keep going. Of course, there's going to be a point whereby, like with me, by the time I retired, the asset management was becoming a little too much for me to handle both W-2 and asset management call. And so I was like, hey, I'd rather take care of my asset management than deal with the W-2. So that was part of my reason for retiring, so I can be able to at least focus on my properties.
Okay.
And just for the record, even though you're retiring from W-2, let's face it, you still have to generate the profit.
Yes.
So which means you gotta work, do the asset management. You gotta take care of lender requirement, loan requirement. I mean, it's not like you're gonna be retiring and going to Hawaii and sitting by the beach 24/7. You still gotta make sure that everybody's doing their job.
But sure.
Yes, but at least you have the life of a retired person. You have the flexibility. I'll give you an example. Early this year, for example, I went to Kenya for 3 weeks, and as soon as I came back, I went to Texas to visit one of my properties as part of the regular visit. Came back home, stayed at home for 2 weeks, for 2 days, turned around and took the family to Hawaii, and came back. Of course, I was planning on doing more trips, but then I had to have a surgery. But and the funny thing, right before that trip to Kenya, I'd gone to where did I go? I was in Miami, and then I was in Nashville, Tennessee. And where was I? I was in one more place, and that's since January of this year. So you have the flexibility. You can go anywhere you want to go. You can work anywhere you want to work. You enjoy life. You still got to work, to make sure that your properties are performing and everything, accordingly.